2013 to be with my husband. And on December 27, 2013, he handed me a flight ticket, one-way flight ticket, to send me back to Africa.
Hey guys, hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So if you're scrolling on Facebook on YouTube, you're gonna come across this story by this young lady. I really was touched by her. I even left her message, just giving a little hug, emojis, because it is really sad. But this is a reality for so many people that have been brought here in to other countries by their partners. So the story is about her getting married to this guy. This guy brought her in the US, and pretty much after maybe a couple months, I think, I didn't remember that, but things went downhill. Like, the guy literally was treating her so bad in so many different ways. Like, she mentioned, like, the guy not buying food sometimes the guy would come in the house, not even speak to her. She was cooking, cleaning, and trying to be a good wife. Like, she even mentions, like, she would even help him take off his shoes when he got home and things like that. But the guy is like, just did not care. When they say a man gets to a point where they no longer want you and there's somebody else in the picture, they start doing that whole thing where you're now the enemy. Like, they want nothing to do with you, and they're trying to show you everything to just get rid of you. She mentioned that she didn't speak English, and she was in the process of trying to get all her papers and all that stuff to be here in the US legally. But through that process, it took a while, and she found herself just feeling pretty much really sad, because she was, she said, oh, there were times that I compared, I wish I was the other woman, because this woman that he was with, he liked her more and would send her flowers and do all these things for her. And so she started comparing herself. I mean, I've been there. There was a time I told you about my situationship that totally made me feel like something was wrong with me, and I was like, man, how come it's not me? How come you don't choose me? Like, why are you putting me through all of this? So she went through that stage of just feeling like, man, this guy really doesn't want me anymore. Like, and you could tell that she really loved the guy, and the guy just it was like a switch, that just turned on, and he's like, I no longer kind of want you. But he wasn't saying it like directly. He's showing through his actions, because men have a good habit of showing you through their actions that they no longer want nothing to do with you. I mean, I just watch her. She's such a beautiful storyteller, like saying, and you can see that, that she's really hurt. And later on, she mentioned that everything kind of connected. Like, this guy just didn't want her anymore. And she talked about that pretty much one time the woman that he was with came in and did put some stuff on the house and all that stuff, and she had to clean it, like some poop or whatever, and she had to clean it. And through all of it, you could see that she still maintained that grace. And I think because she's a Christian and she's religious, she was praying and doing all this stuff, and you could see that she really maintained that, because other women would not dealt with that. Like, but also I feel like she was stuck because she was waiting on her paperwork for her to be able to do anything. So later on, it's the sister pretty much of the guy that asked her, like, hey, did you get your papers yet? Why are you not going to school and all this? Like, what's going on with your papers? Like, what's taking so long? And the guy helps her, and she finally finds out that her papers had been sent to the wrong place and all this stuff. So you guys have to watch it. I'll link it down below. But it is such an example. I've seen so many other stories like this where one partner has brought one to a different countries where they're at, and things go downhill. A lot of women have brought, they've been physically and emotionally abused. They've been abandoned, You have some that, for example, had kids, they got pregnant and everything like that, and then the partner abandoned them, and now they had to figure out how to take care of the children, not having anything here. It's just back-to-back stories where this is happening a lot. So I think what we can learn is you need a backup. If you're going to come to a different country and you're sponsored with a visa or whatever, somebody's sponsoring you to come here, you have to figure out a way to get a backup with your family members over there. I know it's hard because in general, in other countries, people are struggling, but you have to have a backup, because you never want to be in a place where somebody no longer wants to deal with you. You're stuck in a new country. Like, she didn't even speak English before. Like, it was so bad. Like, just watching her, I really felt so bad for her. Like, you could just see that she was just a classy young lady that really loved this man, and this man just really was like, kind of like, I'm checked off, I'm done with you, I figure it out. You know, for her to even say like the guy didn't even want to give her food sometimes, like, what? And didn't care whether the bills were paid, like even took the phone lines where she couldn't even get in contact with somebody, which is pretty much abuse. Like, if you get somebody to a point where you don't even want to buy them food anymore, what are you trying to tell them? Like, I don't care if something happens to you. That's literally what your life is not important. And for me, from what I was doing, it was like, she was saying about how she started looking and saying like, what does the other woman have that you are treating her so well, and you over here. And she was saying how, you know, sometimes, you know, everybody's complimenting you as a woman, like, you're beautiful, you're smart, but the one person that you're with doesn't even take the time of day to even compliment a new hairstyle or new earrings. Like, this happens a lot. So men really have a way of showing you that they don't want you, and it's usually through their actions. I've been there. So this story touched me when she was saying, why didn't he pick me? What was wrong with me? And she started feeling insecure, like, what's wrong with me? But this happens because people's true intentions when they bring partners to different countries where they're at, you don't know what they are. I mean, a lot of women have found out, like, some are brought here because they want a maid. They want somebody to cook and clean while they go out and do their dirty business. You know, some women have talked about, some were brought here, you know, where, you know, they just wanted kids. They want you to have kids for them back to back and not do anything with your life, like moving on and, you know, like getting a career. They don't want you to do any of that. You brought here to have kids. You know, some have been here, brought up, you know, and then put to be doing illegal prostitutions and stuff like that. Like, they've literally been brought here for people to go and tell you to go sell, you know, your body or sell drugs and all that stuff. You're brought here for every reason. So this is why I always get really concerned when I hear like somebody saying like, oh, I'm going to a different country and I'm going to go ahead and, you know, I love this person and everything is rushed, you know, and they go marry the person and then they bring them to a different country. You just don't know. And it is really a scary time. And women really have to be careful. Men have to be careful as well, because men also, it's the opposite too, where a man is brought here and he finds out like this, majority of the time it's the other way. Like, it's usually the women dealing with a lot of stuff, but there's men that have also dealt with situations where they were brought here, they're stuck, and, you know, they can't find work and they have no way to support their family members, you know, back in where they're from, and it's all bad. And the woman is just out there doing whatever. They no longer want to be a wife, or if they have kids, the woman is trying everything to take away the children from them, or have made up lies about them to get them arrested so they don't get their paperwork. And it's a hot mess. But in general, I think from this story, it just tells you to be careful. If you're somebody who's in a country and you're talking to someone and potentially you guys are going to get married to come to wherever they are, or you're traveling to another one to go move, really do your research and also figure out, you know, your backup. You need a backup of some sort. Like, you have to come up with something that you can do in case you were stuck. You know, I don't know, maybe with the first couple months when you're with the person and they're giving you money, maybe set it aside. Because if you use all the money and you're stuck in a new country and sometimes you don't even speak the language, it's so sad, guys. It's really sad. So you guys have to check this story out. But it just reminded me like of other ones that I've watched where people have been left in really bad situations because they were brought to a different place. They have nothing to their name. They don't speak the language and have to fend for themselves. And some also have children in the process, and they have to figure out how they're going to take care of their kids, how they're going to, you know, one lady was even scared to like call the police. She was being abused and she was scared to call the police. And because she's like, oh my gosh, what if this and this happens? And also she mentioned in the video that the guy, you know, knew for sure that she didn't know a lot of stuff, because she would say things like, oh, if you tell somebody this, I'm going to take all your papers away. And then she was like, now that I look back, no, that's not true. You can't take that away. I know, kind of like she knows her rights now. She realizes that the guy was just threatening her because the guy knew she was new to the place and didn't know a lot. But overall, I mean, the story just made me really feel really sad. I just wanted to hug her through the screen because you can see that this traumatized her. You know, I don't know now like how she is. I saw some other videos that she posted, but I don't know how she's doing mentally, because that can really make you feel, just question everything, you know, question your worth and like, what was wrong with me that this person treated me this way, you know? So I hope that, you know, she prays and God is still strong in her life, but you guys have to check it out.